We're almost done, guys. But in all seriousness, welcome back to another episode of me making the Dark Deku cosplay. In this one, we're going to be talking about the mask, backpack, and his cape scarf thing that he has. So this video is going to be a little bit different than the previous parts. I don't have as much footage, so I'm going to be kind of talking over it, and I'll provide as much footage as I have at the moment. So the first thing we're going to make is the metal mask part, and I used a template from, I believe it's Cosplay. I'll leave a link in the description below on where you can actually get all the templates for this. I will also leave the links for the YouTube channels for those guys because they helped me out a lot while making my cosplay here. So first thing you're going to want to do is cut out those templates and then transfer those templates onto foam. Once you have your templates cut out of the foam, you can then start gluing it all together and painting it. And so the part that actually is going to make this really cool is we now need to damage this, and that's what's going to make this the Dark Deku mask. And the way we're going to achieve this look is by using a Dremel and then adding a paint into it. And if you see right here, this is the final look of it after you get everything dremeled and painted. So one thing that helped was I did a black wash on this guy. I did a black wash on this, the silver parts, and then a brown wash on the black parts, just to kind of make it all kind of more dirty. And then I might have went a little over excessive with the cracks and everything, but I really just wanted to make this thing look like, you know, it was fully just damaged and wrecked, you know? Okay, now we can actually start working on the fabric part of the mask, which funny enough, we are actually going to be using foam and then gluing fabric on top of it to give the illusion that it's just a complete fabric mask. So if we actually take a look at these template pieces here, they are, it looks crazy, I know, and this is only one side of the template, so you will flip it over and then you will pretty much get both sides of your mask that you will then glue together. I cannot stress this enough, guys. Please use contact cement when gluing all these foam pieces together of this mask. This mask is a crazy combination and there's a lot of tension on it, so you need so you're gonna need a very strong glue to keep it together. So once everything was glued together, I took another page out of Atomic Cosplays. I believe that's his YouTube channel. Again, it's down below if you guys need more information on this stuff. I used air dry foam clay. I coated the whole mask in it and then I kind of shaved it down. So once I got all the foam clay sanded down to my liking, I then hit everything with some Plasti Dip, and that was just to get me a solid base layer of black so that when I'm gluing you don't see any color or whatnot. That was pretty much the main reason I used Plasti Dip, and it does also kind of keep the whole thing together. So pretty much what we're going to be doing next is we're going to be using some of this Gorilla spray adhesive, and we're going to be then like sectioning and taping off parts, and pretty much so we only have what we want to spray exposed, and then we should be able to then take pieces of fabric and lay them on top and push it all together. Alright, so now looking at what I did here, pretty much what I did was I just grabbed fabric glue and I just started going around all the frayed edges and trying to get those to kind of be a little more dirtier and ratty. And then I also just added more of that fabric glue around the mask, and this actually helps for adhering it to the foam as well as just making it look extra dirty. Just like a comparison from this side to this side, I think that looks a lot better. The look we're going for is nasty griminess, so we're gonna repeat that process right here. So the next thing we gotta do is pretty much fill in this area. What I'm using is like a hairnet cap. You would put this on and then you put the wig on. What I did was I cut it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna stretch this out onto the foam and then cut it into two pieces and then be able to glue it onto the inside of the mask, like so. Okay, so what I'm gonna do for the glowing up eyes is I bought the Iron Man light up eyes off of Amazon. There will be a link in the description below if you want to buy the same ones I did. I bought the green light up ones, and what I did was I used electrical tape and I cut around the eyes. It's already pretty much like pre-loaded when you get it. All you need to do is put in batteries and then boom, the last thing I did was I put duct tape in the mask to kind of just keep that all in place. I didn't want to fully glue it down because I didn't want the battery pack to be glued down if I couldn't, you know, I wanted to be sure I was able to change out the batteries, so everything's kind of just duct taped in, which can fall off from time to time, but I'll just reapply it and whatnot. And so to apply the fabric mask to the metal mask, I used these buttons, and I was going to use magnets originally, but that idea didn't work. There was too much tension on it for it to actually fully go, but the button, these snap buttons really do the job and actually make it work really well. And then I also did just add a little chin strap just to make it so the mask doesn't like slide up too far and you can see the bottom of my chin. So the cape of this costume was actually really tricky for me, mainly just because I don't know a lot about sewing. So the first thing I did was made a template that was measured out to like my neck and like my shoulder area. I pretty much just needed a lot of fabric so that I could kind of cut away and then kind of build it up to where I needed it to be. And then I also created a template for the neck piece, and that was kind of just a half template that I would grab one side, then fold it over, get the other side, and then I would connect it together. So the next thing I did was I traced all this stuff onto fabric and then cut it all out, and I needed 2 layers because I had very thin fabric. So if you have thin fabric, try and double up and double it up as much as you can. Generally, to me, the scarf cape thing looks at like more thicker fabric, so the biggest thing I used for this was fabric glue, and it was the thing that helped me a lot, so I fabric glued it together. So what I did was I copied that template for the neck a couple of times. I made a top and bottom part so it could kind of all fold over, and I could add fabric in between it so that it can kind of bunch up, kind of how the actual scarf does in the anime. And the next thing was I glued it all together, and I started working on the button pieces. And so I just kind of made those out of foam, painted them green, and then I added scuff marks and whatnot to make it look battle damaged. Once I had the buttons done, I started adding dirt and whatnot, you know, paint, just to make the scarf look dirty and nasty and gross. And then once I had that, I glued the buttons on, and I believe we had a finished product for that part. So the final thing I need to talk about is just the backpack. There's really not too much to talk about with this guy. The biggest thing is I purchased this off of Amazon. It was the closest I was gonna get in real life, I guess. But I can't remember how much, but yeah, there's gonna be a link down below to this guy. For at least the price it was, it's probably the best Deku-esque backpack that I'm gonna get. I'm not gonna damage this just because if I want to use it for any of the other versions of this cosplay, I don't want to mess it up. And also, it's just a really good backpack also, guys. What did you guys think of this video in the comments down below? And remember, if there's any questions you still have about this mask or the scarf cape thing, please leave it down there and I'll try and help you guys out. Remember to leave a like on this video, and remember to hit that subscribe button, because the subscribe button's gonna be waiting for everyone, guys. Deuces. This only works with the wig on, guys, I swear.